Sean, I think that we should live like across the street from each other and actually influence each other, be each other's influences, and and like just as whatever, like we can always do like creative material, and that really what we should understand is that that creative material that's coming from that conversation, that's like priceless. It's really priceless. And so I mean, like, whatever it is that we could think of, like, to come up with that priceless material for world peace, basically. And for instance, I just want to point out, there's an answer to that question, sometimes. There's an answer to that question sometimes about, like, well, I think it's interesting, like, that if you're talking to me about this subject, you're trying to ask me this question. You're trying to ask me this question about Japanese people being unafraid. You know what I mean? And I guess what I want to tell you is like afraid of what? Because like I'm in the city, like right now, right? Am I afraid of the cars? Or am I afraid of the people? Or am I afraid of the sky? Or or I'm afraid of the gardeners, or like the lawnmower. There's a lawnmower across the street. This guy's running a lawnmower over there. Probably won't, I don't know those things can be dangerous. Lawn mowing machine. I really, well, am I afraid of my mother? No. Or my sister, or my grandmother, or my great grandmother, No. Were they afraid of me? Are they afraid of me? No. So I did a report in junior high school. I handed in a report. And so I guess for that reason, I do know more about Japanese people than you do as a citizen of the United States of America, And I don't know, like, what am I afraid of? Is it a fight? If I was afraid of a fight, of being in a fight with somebody, I'm 40-something years, and I've been living in California this whole time. And, I want to get back to what I said before, because I was kind of getting off on a tandem, but I would never go back to my own childhood and blame the child. You know what I mean? And I think that's something interesting that we could really think about, is like, that there is something different about being older, Because at this age, I don't blame anything on a 10-year-old at all. And, so what about that? And theoretically, we could be dealing with a different state of mind, like, I guess I'm an adult at this point. And so no, I don't. And therefore, that's right. I mean, bygones are bygones for that subject, because I'm not looking at some other person walking down the street with me like, I'm still here, I'm never gonna let you go. It's like, oh my gosh, dude, why am I talking about myself being like 6 years old, like the other 6-year-olds at the building complex, I don't think, 15-year-old kids are not responsible for anything. When you're 18 years old, if I see you out there getting yourself a trip to the dark side at the age of 18, I want to come along and have a conversation with you. We're not from the dark side anymore. Whatever your name is, these days, like, you know what I mean? Because those are not even like 19-year-old kids or like 18-year-old kids or 17-year-old kids at the building complex. Those are 6-year-old kids, and I was a 6-year-old kid, but they were 8 years old, you know what I mean, etc. But so for the state of mind, I mean, is it possible that we're just missing something, or that there's something to be achieved by just like understanding that that you're not crazy for thinking of the world as being reasonable or rational, that the world really is a little bit reasonable and rational, and like we've got this whole thing about, I don't know if that's a true story, about this one about the Catalina Island that comes from the baseball squad over at Gardner Park from when I was a kid. But those people were not mean to me. Those people were very, very nice to me, and so was my uncle. And I was a kid. I've already been here. You know what I mean? So we're talking about the potential of that artistic material. And I guess what's interesting to me is like, I'm not even going to shake this thing about this artistic material. And so, I don't know, theoretically that you could be talking about how to work towards a goal, like as a bunch of adults, like as a bunch of adults trying to reach some kind of a conclusion, how to be effective. I'd love to be effective, like for that subject.